Hi, my name's Joshua Schultz, and I do a lot of small business operations stuff. I do some no code as well, and I've had a lot of people asking me what tools do I use, how do I use them, trying to get an idea kind of what's possible. So I'm going to try and do a series of videos. I'm going to try and get one or two done a week, just showing really simple ways that you can combine no code tools. You can help automate and streamline your operations. And I'm going to start with a really simple one. This is one that I use every day, multiple times a day, and it takes like 5 minutes to set up. So I'm using something called Alfred here. Now, it's only available for Mac, but there are Windows type of these available. They're known as starters or launchers. And what they do is they help you kind of launch software really quick. So for example, I've got this set on a shortcut for me where I just hit Command Space and it shows me this launcher here. And so the way that I have mine set up is I just hit Command Space and it pops up this launcher here. It was a little off screen. I had to move it down, but again, I just hit Command Space and it pops up. And whatever I type into here, I can launch Spotify. I can jump to basically any file, any Word document that I might have. So you can customize these and create workflows if you have to find files a lot. I've worked in data heavy industries where there's just files everywhere. And there's a couple of types that we need to access all the time really quickly. So in supply chain, that for me, that was prints, that was quotes, and that was purchase orders. So I'm going to show you a way where you can kind of launch quickly. And it's a two-part system. One of them is using Alfred, but the other is thinking about how you can use Alfred. And then you change your nomenclature to match. So let's talk about nomenclature for a second. My philosophy on files is that you shouldn't use a hierarchy of folders. So the more folders you have, that was really back in the 90s. We now have search engines, we have Google, right? So we're really good at searching for documents, which gets rid of that need. And actually that hierarchy slows down the computer and it creates more spaces for you to have to search. So I like to have really flat file structures. So I might put all of my prints in one file or in one folder, but I'll name them so that I can find them. And for me, the most important things to find a print are the customer, it's the part number, and it's the revision. So I just have a nomenclature that includes all of those. And I can search for a certain customer, and there's my prints. I can search for a certain part number, and again, just those prints. So the way that I've always set it up is the first three letters are my customer, then my part number, and then the revision. And so just by thinking through your nomenclature better with your files, you can make it so that you can more easily search for them. Now, the second part is a filter, and that's where Alfred comes in. So Alfred is this tool that, like I said, helps you launch programs, but also has a lot of scripts. So let me show you a fun script that I use all the time. In conversions, a lot of times I'm buying overseas, and I might have to convert something. So I can do 52 pounds, and I can change that to kilogram, and it will give that to me. So these are little scripts that you can build into this tool. And because this tool is so handy, again, Command Spacebar, I can launch it at any time and do anything from conversions to quick calculations. But in this case, what we want to do is we want to be able to find files extremely quickly. So if somebody calls me on the phone and they have a question, I don't want to go searching through Finder. I don't want to have to go through my Windows Explorer. I just want the file up on my screen instantly. So let's see how we can do that. Alfred has right here, this is their basic preferences. And so what I'm going to do is the first thing we need to do is make sure that Alfred knows about the files. Alfred automatically knows about normal file storage locations like documents, downloads, desktop. But a lot of times when I'm dealing with Office files, I'll create a separate directory so that I kind of keep it separate from the rest of my computer. And so we're just going to make sure that Alfred knows about that directory and it's going to be added to the index. And so for that, we're going to go down to features. And this is the search scope. This kind of says, what are we searching? And I am going to make sure that this directory that I need is in there. So I need everything in there. And that's now in there. So that's now going to be one of the locations that it looks for the files. That's step one. Step two is I got to create this custom script. So I can go to workflows and I'm going to add a custom workflow. And what we want is file filter. So I'm going to do it using a keyword. You can do hotkeys if you want, but this is basically going to filter the files that I'm looking for. So let's do this by, so there's two things here. There's file filter, which is what we want. We can do it through keyword or hotkey. I like to do it through keyword because too many hotkeys for different software and you run out of keyboard space. And then you can do open or reveal. So like I said, a lot of times I'm going to do quotes in this case. If I'm talking about a quote, I just need the quote open. I don't want to see it revealed in the Finder or the Explorer. I want the thing to be open so that I'm on the call and I can start talking to my customer or my supplier right away about it. So I'm going to do a file filter from keyword, and I just want the file to open. And so I'm going to call this quotes. And you can categorize them. For me, this is just me. You got to give it a bundle ID. So I'm just going to say com quote finder. Actually, let's put it in. Now. We'll say quote finder. That's not really needed, but we've got now a basic workflow setup. So as you can see, Alfred's really helpful because it's visual. So the next thing I'm going to do is go in here, double click it and say, what is that keyword? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a capital Q. What I'm saying here is when I type Q or whatever it is you want to type, this will tell Alfred that I am now activating the file filter. So for me, when I put a capital Q, and actually I'm going to do lower q, it's easier to do. When I put a lowercase q, it's going to know that I am now turning on my file filter. So I want it to say quote filter is what it's going to be called. Please enter quote text. So the way that I have my quote set up is very similar to the prints. I've got the name of the quote, the name of the whole deal. I've got the customer, and then I've got the date. So I probably won't know the date, but I will know the customer. And if I can just have them sorted, that should be good enough. The second thing is, though, I need the file type. So am I looking for PDFs? Am I looking for folders? And this is really simple. You can just, in this case, I have a quote folder that has a lot of files in it, and I want to pull the whole folder up. And all I got to do is just find a folder. It doesn't even matter, any one. And you can see right here, it takes the type. So I'm just dragging on there saying I'm looking for folders, not files. I'm going to go to scope. Now it's saying, where should we look for that file type? And so again, I'm going to go in and I'm going to find where all my quotes are located. So in this case, it's going to be, I'm going to drag it in there, and you can see that I now have all of my quotes there. You can get into some further things, but in this case, we don't really need a lot of this stuff. We're just going to hit save. And that's it. We've now already set up this whole quotes thing. So let's watch it in action. If I type in Q, it says quote filter, which is what we called it. I hit space, and now I can type in any quote I want. So I can type in my customer, and there's all my most recent quotes right there. And then all I have to do is hit enter. So what we're doing is creating this shortcut where I can type in and I can look for prints, I can look for quotes, and it just helps me navigate much faster. As I'm on a call, I don't have to go through my file system. I don't have to do a lot of searching. All I got to do is hit my shortcut, which is Command Spacebar, hit Q, and type in the name of the quote, and it comes up. So hopefully you can use this. You can think of other places where you want to pull up files extremely fast. You want to have them available. And this is a really quick workflow, no coding really needed, that helps you filter through your files and find things faster. Again, your nomenclature you need to give some thought to ahead of time, but when combined with this, it really speeds up your workflow during the day. Hopefully this was helpful. If you want to learn more of this kind of stuff, you can follow me on Twitter. Feel free to reach out.